Well, we start this afternoon with Manchester United and their ongoing search for a new manager. The post-Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era was off to a winning start under Michael Carrick. He is in charge on a game-to-game basis while the club consider an interim appointment. Their preferred candidate to take over permanently, Mauricio Pochettino, is in Manchester today for a Champions League game at the Etihad Stadium. We can head there now and join our reporter Ben Ransom for the very latest. Ben, with all of the noise, Pochettino tried to put the speculation to bed, but he has made it clear that his focus is on this huge game away to Manchester City this evening.
Yeah, it's a beautiful coincidence, isn't it, that we've had this huge potential change at Manchester United, Pochettino being their number one target, and he's here in Manchester to play Manchester City. And yeah, listening to his press conference yesterday, he was very keen, I think, to put the focus on that game. He knew the rumours were going to be talked about. He's aware of the speculation. We know that ultimately he does quite fancy a shot at the Manchester United job. When that happens, I guess, is the big question. He was expecting those questions from reporters yesterday. Both the English media and the French media had a little go at it, and he reiterated the facts. The facts are that he's contracted at Paris Saint-Germain until the end of next summer, the summer of 2023. What he didn't know, he did just stop short of committing to being in Paris for the duration of his contract. And I think that's perhaps the little nuance which he's been able to keep to himself. We know he's here. He is very focused on what is a huge game, and that can't be ignored. Remember, one of the questions to Pep Guardiola at his press conference ahead of the game was about whether you can be considered to be an elite manager having not won a major trophy, because that's what's been levelled at Pochettino. Well, he's got an opportunity to do that at Paris Saint-Germain. They came pretty close in the Champions League last season, reaching the semi-finals. They're 11 points clear at the top of Ligue 1 in France as well. So he is on course to end that run, to win a first major league title. He's got Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, that trio up front, which are they're absolute world beaters, some of the best players on the planet right now. So he knows he's got the tools to be able to end that run that way. But of course, he's well aware of the speculation abounding. Questions too about whether he was being completely honest when he said he was happy in Paris, given that he's still living in a hotel, given that his family are still in England. So you can see why the pull, the attraction of coming back to England to manage one of the biggest clubs in the world is there. But you have to say, and he has to try and stay focused on a big game tomorrow, or tonight I should say, because both City and Paris Saint-Germain on the verge of the knockout stage of the Champions League.
And Ben, with Pochettino distancing himself from this job publicly, United for the moment appear to be stepping up their move for an interim boss, and there are some potential names emerging, aren't there?
Yeah, there are. Now, this was, if you take you back to that initial statement, it's the only official word, remember, we've had from the club since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer departed. And right at the end of it, the only things that we've got in black and white, Michael Carrick taking charge of the next few games, as we saw him do last night. He's now planning for Chelsea. But also the fact that United would look to appoint an interim manager for the rest of this season before a permanent boss. Now, there have been developments on that front. Ernesto Valverde, former Barcelona manager, 57 years old, had a good time of it at Barcelona, won La Liga twice and the Copa del Rey as well. It's emerged that United have held talks with him about taking over as manager until the end of the season. Other names beginning to emerge as well, because we know that United do have a list of what they call high-profile candidates to go through. Rudi Garcia is another name, most recently in charge of Lyon. He has also been linked with the role. He spent 2.5 years at Lyon. Remember, most famously, I guess, was when he took them to the Champions League semi-finals when they beat Manchester City en route a couple of seasons ago. He's also won Liga in France with Lille. And Julen Lopetegui will probably best remember him in this country, I guess, for being sacked by the Spanish national team a couple of days before the World Cup in 2018, when he'd already agreed at that point to join Real Madrid as manager. That didn't quite work so well, but he's another name being linked with the Manchester United job. And then it's about United coming up with their strategy, because they've got two options here, haven't they, clearly? They can either persist with that original strategy, look for that interim, potentially Ernesto Valverde at the front of that queue, or if they're getting positive noises, because remember, it's our understanding that Mauricio Pochettino would like to manage Manchester United, whether they push for that permanent manager right now.
OK, Ben, live in Manchester, thank you very much indeed for the moment. Now, we spoke to former United midfielder Jesper Blomqvist earlier. He is in favour of going down the interim route, but only if it means getting the right person to take over in the summer.
For me to build it in the long term, you need to be really trusting in the one you get and that it's the right one. So if they have to wait for another 6 months to get the right one, who can take the club, on the long term in the right direction, then yes, take an interim manager now and wait for the right one in the summer, definitely. Pochettino and Ten Hag is two really great candidates for the long term.
So who would that right person be? Well, Blomqvist says Pochettino or the Ajax boss Erik Ten Hag. Luis Saha would rather see an ex-Real Madrid man in the dugout at Old Trafford.
Speculation on managers is obvious. It's a great club to manage. So we heard some names like Pochettino, Zidane, Valverde, who have been as well a good fit because they are known to be managers who know how to build team and confidence. I think, Ole has built some great foundation for any managers coming. But I really like the image of Zidane there because the guy won everything. And especially when you have maybe a great player, a world-class player, being successful as a manager, there is no many. There is no many who are able to lift Champions League trophies when you've been that good as a player. So I think it would be great for so many youngsters down here.